Hey there guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another best class setups in Modern Warfare. We are taking another look at the AS VAL here today, and a lot of fanfare has been around about the 10 round mags, about how broken they are. But I don't expect that to stay that way for very long. Like, it's already pretty annoying, so I imagine they're working on a fix for it. But this is a very, very good AS VAL class setup without those 10 round mags. Very standard sort of assault rifle style class, sort of similar to an SMG in the sense that you can just sort of move around and it has a very high fire rate. And we're just going to talk about it here today. Just before we do get into it though, make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, just in case you don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos. Loads of stuff lined up very, very soon. So let's talk about the AS VAL here. So the AS VAL is a very interesting weapon in which it does have a time to kill up sort of medium distances if you are landing chest shots of about 130 milliseconds due to the high fire rate of about 900 rounds a minute, which is very, very fast in terms of time to kill. What makes this weapon a little bit more interesting is it is also an integrally suppressed weapon, and it does have kind of significant recoil if you don't have any of the right attachments on, so it can be difficult to hit shots sometimes. But if you get somebody in the chest with like decent shots, it's a 3-shot kill, 4-shot kill, you just drop people so quickly. But we are going to start off with our sidearm perks and grenade choices here, of course, as we usually do. The M19 is of course our akimbo pistol of choice. Basically, just pull up with these. Apparently the monolithic suppressor is still a very good option, extending out our damage range slightly. The extended barrel doesn't reduce our hip fire accuracy as much as the L super barrel does, so that's kind of interesting. The 5mm laser reduces our hip fire spread a little bit further as well. Lightweight trigger, of course, for fast fire rate, and then the akimbo perk. We don't really have to worry about this too much. If somebody does get too close, we can typically just take them out with the AS VAL because of the 5 fire rate, but if you need it, this is there for you. Perks are very standard on the channel at the moment. The EOD, Ghost, and Tracker, of course. EOD for not dying to those explosives, Ghost for staying off of those UAVs, and Tracker for seeing those enemy footprints, which is a great combination for this particular weapon in terms of dead silence, the silenced weapon, and of course Tracker as well. In the lethal slot, we do want that Semtex because the C4 is pretty bad now. You basically can't throw it very far at all. Nowhere near as far as you used to be able to throw it. So I like the Semtex at the moment because it does stick to people. It's pretty easy to get killed with this, and it's a really nice option. And then in the tactical slot, we usually go with the Stim Shot because it is a very good option in this game. Still super strong. As for our attachments on the AS VAL, as I said, we're skipping over the broken 10 round mags, and we're just sort of going with a very standard style of assault rifle class setup. Starting off with the barrel here, as I mentioned already, it is integrally suppressed, so you don't need to add like a monolithic suppressor onto this bad boy, which is very interesting. And we are going for the VLK 200mm OSA barrel for that damage range and bullet velocity. No recoil control here, which is a little bit interesting. As I said, the recoil control can be a little bit significant with this particular weapon, so we need weapons or attachments rather to sort that out. Then we move, of course, to the TAC laser, which does give us that aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. Aiming stability does actually help with our recoil control slightly by reducing that idle sway that we get, because that does impact your recoil sometimes. Then we move to a very interesting attachment for this particular weapon. The VLK Strelok stock is actually kind of interesting. As I said, the recoil control can be pretty significant with this weapon, so you do need recoil control attachments. The best one for this particular weapon is, of course, this particular stock, that recoil control, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness, making it very easy for hits to hit our shots. The recoil can still sort of mess you up sometimes at those longer distances, or even if you're trying to hit a pixel shot on someone's head or they're peeking up over a wall, you can still struggle sometimes, but the VLK Strelok does make it very easy for us to hit most shots, and you can sort of control it very easily with this. Stipple grip tape, of course, very standard aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, getting those sights up nice and quickly. Very nice option here. And then lastly, the 30 round mags are the best sort of largest ammo capacity that you can have, because this does have a 20 round mag by default, and 30 is more than 20. Figure I should mention this here as well, just before we jump into the gameplay. You can also include like a commando foregrip, as I probably mentioned about 1,000 times in the gameplay that you're about to see. The recoil can be a little bit difficult to control sometimes as a result of just sort of naturally high recoil from this weapon. The commando foregrip does make this a little bit easier, but the Merc foregrip would probably be a good option as well, but we don't want to reduce our aim down sight speed anymore. So the commando foregrip, and swapping that for like the TAC laser, or for that aim down sight speed, you swap the TAC laser over for that stipple grip tape, as the TAC laser does have increased aim down sight speed and does help us a little bit on that recoil control, but we lose that sprint to fire speed, of course. So this is probably a little bit of a triangle that you can switch out sometimes. So you can take commando foregrip, TAC laser, drop the stippled, take the stippled commando foregrip, drop the TAC laser, or just take the stippled and the TAC laser for that ultimate sort of run and gun style. You got to get very close to people, otherwise the recoil control can be a little bit bouncy. So of course we are going to jump into some gameplay here. Alrighty, so this will be the second time we're trying to record this gameplay, because guess what map we got the first time I tried to do this? We got Hovek Sawmill, and I'm sick of that map, man. Like every single video we play, like every single time we pull up this game, it's like, oh, Hovek Sawmill, you want to play that? It's an okay map, I just don't want to play it every single game, like, until the end of time. But for the AS VAL, it's an interesting weapon. I'm probably going to die here. Yep, nice. If you're still using stuns and flashes in 2020, man, grow up. Like, for real. Just... That's awesome. That is excellently well timed. Like, I spawn there and 1 second later I die. Nice. Anyway, the AS VAL is a very interesting weapon in this game. As I said at the start of the video, there's been a lot of fanfare around those 10-round mags because they are actually broken, and like it's sort of annoying. You just get killed like straight up through the map. You couldn't actually affect the game at all. You just die. So we're not including those today, but this is a weapon that's always going to draw people in with it. With a high fire rate. That's all it is about. Like, that high fire rate is of course very, very nice here, and that's sort of what you rely on to get most of your kills. For the most part, we're looking at like a 3 to 4 shot kill to the chest, mostly. But the recoil can be a little bit unforgiving sometimes. It's just one of those weapons that can struggle a little bit depending on really what the gun decides that it wants to do. It's really not up to you a lot of the time whether you're getting kills. Which is, I mean, can I jump? Which is a little bit weird, I'm not going to lie. Like, it is a little bit confronting sometimes when you just like paint an absolute circle around someone that you trust. Someone that you just tried to kill, you paint an absolute circle around them like you do see in the cartoons. Like, just ridiculous sometimes, the recoil control. You just get unlucky and you don't hit any shots. And other times you hit all your shots and it's like the best weapon in the game, like easily. There's like no competition. And you're like, why can't you do that all the time, game? Why can't you do that all the time, you know? Like... I don't know, it's just one of those things. Of course you can add more recoil controlling attachments. You can make the weapon like an absolute laser beam, but then it's a little bit more difficult to sort of pull those sights up. So it's kind of a trade-off a lot of the time. What you want to do with this weapon, you're like, good combinations. Good combinations is going to be a man here. No! That was actually a good streak. That was actually a good streak, and we didn't get it. We didn't manage to pull off any sort of benefit to anyone. See what I mean? Just sometimes you just don't hit the shots, and other times it's just an absolute laser, and you're like, well, why would I use a weapon like that? Like, why would I use a weapon that is sometimes inconsistent when I could just use a weapon that isn't inconsistent and does great damage, has an okay fire rate, easy to control recoil? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd use this too much over like the M4 or something like that, so it's one of those things. This is still a good weapon in this. Where did he go? Another slide. So you see, that particular kill there, bullets went exactly where I wanted them to. I didn't have it, like, any other choice but to kill that guy. Very, very easy. And then other times it's like, no. No, bad luck. So just like that, just like an instant kill basically. That would have been like very, very fast in terms of time to kill there. And that's why people use this weapon. Like, that's why people love this thing, because it is an absolute banger when those shots do land. When you can easy kills with this, it's just so good. And then other times you're like, that sucks. You know, it's just one of those weapons, really. I don't actually want to cap C. Like, I don't really want to cap C by myself. I'm a little bit hesitant. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I'm going to get pushed immediately, so. Oh, the timing. The timing. Of course, I'd be halfway doing C and then somebody would push out. There's another one who went into there. If I chuck that up there, it might kill him. That's cool. We can get in here with the dead silence and get after this guy. Oh my god, that was the worst aim I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely beaming people, like absolutely no, why is he just sitting there? As soon as I come out of this building, oh no, maybe old mate's gonna take care of it. We just haven't done a good enough job of capping any of the flags here, which is, of course, the idea of this particular game mode. Everyone knows that, but I mean, nobody caps flags in this game. I should have died there. That was embarrassing for him, and of course, the game is about to be over. We did okay with our two different class setups here. We've of course changed that for the commando sort of foregrip eventually, and it's sort of made it a little bit easier, but at the same time it's a little bit slower here, of course. Alrighty guys, what do we think of our AS VAL class setup here? Well, I think this is a very good option in this game, but it can be a little bit difficult to control sometimes, and that's why we've chosen to include the commando foregrip on some of that gameplay that you just saw. It's interesting. It is a little bit of a trade-off sometimes, and you sort of have to pick and choose what you want to fail at. Like, do you want a slower aim down sight speed, or do you want bullets to be easy to hit? And sort of is a trade-off that you have to sort of consider map to map. Like, on those close quarters maps, you probably want to get that faster aim down sight speed, as you'll be closer to your enemies a lot of the time. It'll make it easier to kill them straight away, get those sights up. But on those sort of medium to longer distance maps, you want the bullets to be as easy to hit as possible. So that commando foregrip can make it a lot easier to hit shots. But as I said, you can sort of swap the tack laser, the commando foregrip, and then the stipple grip tape as you do see fit, and they all sort of play an important role in making this weapon very, very good. I feel like this is a good weapon in this game. As I said, it's sort of not one of the best weapons in the game. Like, it does compete with those M4s and stuff like that, and you're like, why would I use the AS VAL over the M4 when the M4 doesn't have to deal with like extreme recoil control sometimes? So it's a little bit of a trade-off. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this one. I do appreciate it, of course. Make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you had not already done so. I do appreciate it, and it does very much help me out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!